All right, everybody, it's time for another video, and this time we are taking a look at Global's week ahead of time, well, just Global's upcoming week content. And week content, is it week content? I don't think that it actually is, because maybe certain evaluations of certain characters have changed. So let's get into it and talk about Shalve, Showls. Okay, Showls. The new fire elemental healer and support that will be coming global this. And as you can see, I am already a proud owner of Shells. I already have her. I got her for fairly cheap off of her banner because she is only a 70 cost unit. And honestly, I think that the story has made me like her less generally. Uh, but of course, when it comes to a game like this, it's not just necessarily about whether she's a character we like or not, whether or not the character is actually good. And Shells, if you would have asked me earlier, I would have said that she's actually pretty mediocre. I think that she can be a generally decent support. My overall problem with the character was that she just seemed to be, better than Minwoo, but wasn't really in Fire's game plan. And thinking about that really changed until Soul came around. And ever since Soul has come around, I think that my general approval of the character has gone up considerably because, well, she does essentially have a good kit that is supposed more towards mages than offensive characters. And I think that that really shines a little Soul, and Soul just generally being pretty strong and good counter into certain popular matches on he has made this character generally better too. Plus, UR Mont's upgraded limit bursts, all of this has been working really well to make a generally strong survivability, well, endurance kind of team that can whittle down the opponents and also hit them with some status effects and everything like that. So Shal's, definitely has improved. Looking at Supplicant role, Kotodama Wielder and Cleric, her Limit Burst bestows survive fatal damage to herself and an ally while also decreasing chance for her being targeted, which means she has a good chance of activating heals or some buffs without worrying about her getting hit too. Then we looked at Paired Blessing, which gave regen, which is something that isn't always super countable. She can also give increased physical and magical damage to an ally. She can area resistance, critical evasion, light and dark resistance, which makes you good into multiple ups. Yes, there isn't, and I don't expect Shalze to really get any kind of big buff for global. She's probably generally good where she is. It's just whether or not you really want resources trying to get her now, or just get her as an off-ban. She is a permanent addition to the pool. You don't have to getting her, and 70 costs me be far more likely than Soul. So if you were to be smarter with your resources, maybe saving on this character and saving up for Soul would be a better one, just hoping that you're lucky. However, with increased rates, there's a chance that you are fairly sticking. Now, other benefits, other than the stuff that is just on her general card, we've talked about her being generally low cost, which even if you were to put two 100 costs with her, you're still looking at a 270 unit cost, which is much better and much lower than 300 costs. Other things, TMR gives elemental chain resistance for just keeping your characters alive. Frostbite, blind, and paralyze are basically immune, and into her kit. We have, of course, Arise, decrease all attack resistance by 15% for multiple units, and some healing capability, with her Kotodama wielder giving her offensive skills, and her cleric giving her a few more healing and dispel as effects as well, which can potentially be kind of interesting with this character. Now, setting up AI and everything, I haven't had the most experience with her, but right, going up against her a couple of times, she can make a pretty big difference if she gets her Arise off, if she does enough buffs. She can be generally pretty strong, and I think that she has shown that she has pretty good synergy with the soul, and you could go full fire magic well by putting Kefka in there. I think that there's a lot of good avenues, and combination of her and her fire characters is kind of giving fire a much more reliable and generally strong foundation against, which is probably merit enough for a lot of people to be generally happy with it, as well as her overall performance. Now, she is a 70 cost, so don't expect too terribly much from her to be completely perfect, but I mean, her decreasing of her own chance of being targeted, the fact that her limit burst is very easy to trigger, all of these things are good. And into the future, if she gets any buffs to limit burst, it will probably just be a nice upgrade overall. So let's take a look at a few other things that have come out recently and how it might affect your decision of whether or not you want this character. Thankfully, the new VC is supportive of her, this new one that works with both Soul and not only Soul but Shalze, of giving elemental chain resistance, so you're harder to kill, magic killer, which means that you can deal damage regularly, agility, which is of course just the best stat in the game, and increased magic and target resistance on whatever you card, and also at a nice discounted cost of only 60. Overall, this feels like this was made for these characters, and I do believe, yes, it's true, this VC also are not. So just the perfect VC to combine all three with other fire VCs. If you have fire magic VCs, you can make a really nice team here, or maybe you're going to go with rain instead of you, which is actually possible. Great, because the great sword class is also. So totaling up all of this, you might be looking at going for Shalze, this new VC, hopefully having some of the fire magic VC previous events, and then last but not least, going for Soul himself. So it can be a potentially really expensive rebuild. Of course, Soul could end up showing up on a select a unit banner very quickly into the anniversary, but that is very presumptuous of us to make at this point, which probably isn't also very responsible for me to say that you should definitely kind of just think that this happened for you. No harm, no foul. So, at the end of this video, I think that Shalze is better than I originally thought, but she's gotten the support needed to really push her into being a more successful unit, giving the fire element something cool and new to do. And last but not least, I think that overall, a lot of people will be happy with the new combination, giving something other than just fire evade and potentially flip matches. But hey, that's just me. So hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative and useful. Thanks for watching.